May 13th, live on the Zone pay-per-view. KSI and Joe Fournier take to the ring at the OVO Arena in Wembley. The undercard is looking on fire at the moment. And what is required to sell fights at this level in the crossover boxing scene is narrative, it's storyline, and this one is absolutely soaked in it. Paigey, Thresh, thank you both very much for joining us. There's been a lot going on. Let's get straight into it. Paigey, I want to start with yourself. I'll ask the general question. How's training going? How's camp going before we get into what's been happening around this fight?
Training's been going good. Like I've been training nearly every day. Camp's going great. I mean, I'm nearly down to the weight that I need to be down to. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like my mindset is there and I'm ready to take this win.
Good stuff. Tennessee Thresh, welcome to Misfits Boxing. Good to have you. Same question. How you feeling? How's training going?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Training's going good. It's been a journey, but yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. Not really much more to say.
Excellent. Well, listen, there's loads we can break down over the next couple of weeks, and of course after fight. The female scene in particular is absolutely exploding at the moment. But this fight is soaked in it. It's completely full of narrative. Paige, just talk to me a little bit about how this fight has come about.
It came about because I went on Tennessee's podcast, and obviously she started a situation out of a situation that was never there. It's in her head. And then it was just like a whole online beef. And then I suppose KSI's team came to us and told us, why don't you get in a ring and bless your situation? Basically fight it out.
Tennessee, I want to go into this narrative. Just before we do, what's your take on it all? What do you make of Paigey's version of events?
There's not really much more to make. It kind of isn't really about like the argument now. I guess it's now just about what happens in the ring, because there's been so much talking that I just feel like it just needs to speak for itself, really.
Does any of what's happened, and I'll address this to you first, Tennessee, does anything of what's happened affect you in training? Is it easy to separate the emotion of whatever it was that you both went through? Is it easy to separate that emotion from physically getting in the ring, challenging yourself, making yourself a better athlete? Is it easy to separate that and just focus on doing what you got to do?
I would say, yeah. I like anything where there's an end goal. So this training camp for me, it's just been about working towards bettering myself in terms of like boxing. I've really found like a love for it along the way. So it definitely hasn't really been about the argument somewhere in the middle of training camp. It was more just about, I like doing this and I actually just want to show that I can do it.
How about yourself, Paigey? How have you found this whole situation and being able to separate it from physically getting yourself better as an athlete?
One thing I'm going to say is it's definitely helped like my mindset. Like it's given me a lot of discipline in life. Like right now I feel like I'm in such a good place, like overall. Yeah, I've just changed my whole life around and I feel like I'm ready to get in the ring and yeah, fight. That's the truth.
Paigey, how do you currently feel about the situation? Just, for those who aren't aware, there was accusations of how someone was looking at someone else. And just how do you feel about all this now? What place are you in with regards to the situation?
I'm in a place where I'm done with the internet chat. At the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I was fired up. Like, I'm in a happy relationship with my fiance and I don't want no one to try and tarnish it with like shit stories. So at the beginning, I was heated and now I'm just in the place like, you've done all of this now. Like, come meet me in the ring, come buck me.
Was that something that initially fired you to sign the contract for the fight? Like you say, KSI's team came to Misfits Boxing, had a look at the situation, but because of what was going on, was it an easier decision to sign that contract to make this fight happen?
Yeah, it was more than easy. It's either I catch her in person and beat her up for free, or I beat her up in the ring and get paid. Why not?
Is that how you see this fight going? You're going
That's how I see this fight going, yeah. Yes, that's how I see this fight going.
Tennessee, your response when she says she's coming to beat you up. I mean, I know that this is the sport of boxing. I know that you're supposed to think this, but at the same time, there's obviously that bit of needle behind it, given where we've come from. What's your response to her saying she was going to beat you up for free if she saw you in the street, but now we get paid to do it in the ring?
I mean, she's going to say what she's going to say. She has to gas herself up, of course, but this isn't a street fight. This is a sport, and what you think you might win on the street, you're not going to win in the ring. This is a sport. This is down to who's better as an athlete and who can put all of these weeks training to the test, really.
What kind of fight do you see happening, Tennessee? Is this the kind of fight where we use a term about meeting in the middle of the ring, hands down by your sides, just swinging, and just whoever lands first, sort of will take the dub? Or are you going to try and play this a little cleverer, maybe not let her get those shots off? She's coming to beat you up. That's her words. She's just said it. Are you not? Is it your game plan to sort of say, do you know what? I'm not going to fight fire with fire. I'm going to make you miss, and I'm going to make you pay.
I feel like I'm definitely going to be the more skilled one in the ring. I'm just going to give her a good fight, really. I know that she's probably going to give me a good fight. I'm not underestimating her and her ability, but I think that she's underestimating mine. So I think that's definitely going to shock her.
Paigey, are you underestimating Tennessee?
I'm not underestimating. As she said, I do feel like it's going to be a good fight. I don't feel like it's going to be a fight where I'm just going to go in and boom, it's going to be over in seconds. But I feel like we're definitely going to put up a good fight. But I feel like I have the upper hand, and I feel like it's just my mindset. I'm very, very determined. I do not know how to lose. I don't lose. That's how I feel.
Does this fight go the distance, Paigey?
Say that again?
Does this fight go the distance?
In like what aspect?
Do we see the final bell, or will you knock your opponent out?
Oh, I feel like, yeah, the fight might get stopped. I want it to go to the end, to be honest. I just feel like I really want to perform well in 3 rounds. I don't want it to get stopped or anything. I don't want a knockout. I just want the fight to go all the way on to the end, and then we just see who the winner is at the end.
Is that because, and again, I know it's my job to stir the pot a little bit here, so forgive me for doing that. It's just my job. But is that because of what's happened? You want to give a longer, as a lot of fighters will say, a prolonged beating? Or is this about more than one fight for you? Do you want to sort of showcase? Because what happens quite often is a fighter will get a first round knockout and the fans love it. It's brilliant. It's action. But the fighter actually comes away a bit frustrated because they've not been able to showcase anything. Are you saying you want it to go the distance because you want to showcase what you can do, or because you want to spend a bit longer beating her up?
I definitely want to showcase what I can do. I want people to see, like, I've trained so hard for this. I don't want it to get stopped in the first round, because then I'll feel like I never really got to show everything that I can do. But I also want it to be a really good fight. I know it's going to be a good fight, and I don't want to beat her up, but I just want it to be a prolonged fight so we can really get to the end.
Tennessee, I'll ask you the same question. Does this fight go the full distance, or do you get the knockout?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't seen her spar. I don't really know what I'm going up against. Ideally, I would like to, of course, get a knockout or to stop her. Like, that would be ideal. But I don't know the fight she's going to give me. But I know that I'm definitely going to be giving her a good fight.
Do you have ambitions to stay in boxing, Tennessee? Are you here to sort of make a statement and say that you're here on the scene?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't really say this is about, like, I'm planning to do, some more. I would like to do more fights. And yeah, so whether I show my full ability in this one fight, it's definitely going to get shown in the next few years.
Talk to me a little bit, staying with yourself, Tennessee. Talk to me a little bit about when the offer came through, when you first heard about this potential matchup against Piagey Cakey on a Misfits card, and not just any Misfits card, an absolutely massive pay-per-view card. You get given this opportunity. How does that come about? How quickly in your mind are you saying, yes, I'm in? Was the opponent important? Did you just want to take the opportunity? Just talk to me a little bit about the narrative of how you got here.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to take the opportunity. I thrive off winning, and I thrive off working towards something. Doing like sports is not really anything new to me. I feel like people don't really know like my background with it, but I ran track for like 9 years of my life. I stopped a few years ago, so I love the whole process of like training and working hard and then competing. And I like to watch boxing. Like, I went to KSI's last one, and I remember literally turning to my friend and being like, I would love to do this. And it's so weird because I feel like I like kind of manifested it without even realizing that I did. So as soon as I got the like question, I was like, yeah, I would so do that.
Mams Taylor had his big listening device out, and he heard that, I think, on Fight Night.
Yeah, he was like, I can see her over there. Like
Maybe that's what made it happen. So this is obviously something that drives you. Then you hear, you know, I know what it's like. Never have I been a track star. I don't have the mental stability, if anything. But do you think that helps your training? Because one thing that track runners will often say is, yes, your physical baseline of fitness is there, but it's the mental strength to keep going and keep going and keep going. You're going to have that same struggle in the ring. You know, the harder the fight, maybe this time, maybe next time, whenever, those rounds are going to be put on you. Does that physical training and mental stability give you a bit of an edge, do you feel? If Paigey's turning the heat up, you've been there in difficult training before. Is that maybe what's going to carry you through?
Yeah, I feel like that has definitely carried me through like my training 100%. And yeah, it's that. But the training compared to running to the training compared to boxing, it like boxers have all my respect. Like going into my training camp, I was like, I did athletics, like I can train, but it is just the mental strength that you need, even in like sparring, to just literally tell yourself like, no, like I'm not settling for anything less than being better every single time. And I think that's like what I've like loved learning about myself the most, is that I won't stop like until I'm satisfied.
Paigey, when you hear that, what happens? What happens inside of you? She's clearly mentally strong. She, you know, to be a track runner, listen, my utmost respect, because it's physical endurance, but it's mental as well. She's here for a fight, and she believes she can withstand whatever you throw at her. What do you hear? What do you think when
I mean, she's a track runner. I'm a long distance runner. So you've got two runners. You've got her who burns herself out quick, and you've got me who I can run for an hour straight, no stopping. 5K every single day. I'm a long distance runner. So I feel like we both got ability when it comes to the endurance, and it comes to the, you know, the intensity of like just the staying on your toes and running. But it's different. As she said, when you're in the ring, it's totally different. It's not about how fast you can run or how long you can run. It's just about your mindset and how ready you are and how hard you've worked and trained. So it is going to be a test. But I feel like we're both in a good place. I haven't actually seen Tennessee's like her skills. I haven't seen what she's like when she's boxing, when she's sparring. I've heard, but I haven't seen anything. So it's like I don't actually know what she's going to be like in the ring. But I'm still very, very confident, and I still believe in myself highly.
when was the last time you saw each other in person?
At the Spill the Juice podcast. So that was maybe just under 2 months ago. Maybe a month and a bit, maybe.
And given everything that's happened, if you were to have bumped into her since then, what would that be like?
If I bumped into her when it happened, the whole situation after the podcast, when everything was going off, probably would have smacked her in her face. If I bumped into her now, probably would walk past her because I know I'm going to meet her in the ring, and I just can't be bothered with the petty stuff.
So what happens in fight week in the hotel if you guys walk past each other going down to the press conference or cross paths at the workout? You know, you're going to be there in the same room on a number of occasions. Is that emotion inside of you bubbling up? Do you want to sort of release that early, or can you maintain that and hold it down till fight night?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a drama person. If you bring it to my door, then I'll bring it back to you. But I'm very like, unless you do something to me, I'm very, very humble. Like I'm saving my energy for the ring.
Tennessee, you couldn't have imagined that after you finished that podcast a couple of months ago that this narrative of events would have unfolded. How do you feel that you hear her say that? If we hadn't signed for a fight, the events that followed from that podcast meant I would have slapped her if I saw her in the street. Smacked her up, I think was the term. How do you process that?
Let's just talk.
What do you think happens in fight week?
What do you mean?
If you cross paths, are you going to be friendly? Do you have, because I guess this wouldn't have been the other way.
To me now, like I said, like something kind of happened to me like mid training camp, and to me it's not personal anymore. Like this is a sport, and may the best boxer win, really. Like, that's all you can say now.
I'm going to wrap this up.
And the fact that she's even done this training camp, I have a bit of like, I admire it. Like, I have a bit of respect for her. Like, I have respect for anyone that can do this.
Is that respect two-way flowing, Paigey?
I mean, I have a lot of respect for her. It's my little sister. Of course, I respect her. But I've got to give her the sister beatings.
Paigey, to wrap this up,
Mm-hmm.
if I could ask you, put you on the spot, make you feel really uncomfortable for a moment, to look into the camera, tell Tennessee a message ahead of fight week, what would that message be?
Tennessee, when I beat you up, you're going to get 3 Tennessees for the rest of your life on me. I got you. Any chicken and chips you want, I got you.
It's very kind. Tennessee, the same request back, straight down the barrel of the lens. What's your message?
I can't wait to get in the ring, and good luck, because I'm going to say that you're going to need it. And let me come to your after party as well.
But you're not having one.
No, I can't be bothered. But when I heard you having, I was like, oh, surely.
Yeah, I'll put you in a guest list.
Thanks.
Maybe we're all friends, really. We find out May 13th, live on the Zone pay-per-view at the OVO Arena. Remaining tickets are available, but sign up for that pay-per-view now, because this whole card is storyline soaked. Guys, we can't wait to see both of you in fight week. Paigey, Tennessee, good health. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.